Some people find some things totally disgusting, but if other people like it, they are entitled to pursue those communications. So the last thing we want in this case is for the FCC or the government to step in and pull this game from the market, or in fact do anything else that interferes with the free flow of communications.
Representative, I will get to you shortly. Professor, this is a case where 99.9% of the population shares the same belief that this game has gone far beyond the boundaries of good taste. Even if the hookers in Grand Theft Auto and all the rest of these little components of these games are okay with you, this is not. Is this not a case where you make an exception?
Once you make an exception for this kind of thing, you can make an exception for something else. Imagine a president who found something that a political candidate said so disgusting that that should be prevented from being made available to the public. The First Amendment was put in place to protect precisely those kinds of communications that most people don't like. Otherwise, you don't need a First Amendment.
Representative, I want to get you in. How do you deal with the First Amendment purists and at the same time prevent this type of thing from ever happening?
Well, I think that you can't prevent it from happening, but what you can do is let parents know that they should do everything in their power to make sure their kids don't get games like this. This game is just plain ugly, and it shows how low people will go in order to make $1.
But don't you even see it? I don't want to get too hyperbolic with this, but it feels like a real referendum on the state of society when this becomes entertainment.
Well, you know what it is to some extent. I think for people who did not live through the JFK assassination, they probably don't have the same sense of revulsion as I do and most of your viewers do. Think about a video game that did this, say, for the Lincoln assassination. We'd find it disgusting, but I don't think we'd have the kind of visceral reaction that I and you and the representative and most American people have towards this.
Explain to me the structure of this, Representative. It's effectively a crime to threaten the life of a sitting president, and yet it's legal to make a game that makes sport of killing a past president. How is that possible?
Well, it is possible under the First Amendment. We can find it disgusting, and I do, but the lawyers and the judges among us tell us that it is certainly possible, and it's something that we're going to have to live with. But I thought the idea of a boycott was a fine idea, and in fact, I think it's time for parents in this country to rise up and say enough is enough. It's a fresh reminder to us that we need to be aware of what our kids are watching and downloading. This game is downloadable for $10 on the internet, so any parent who has a child who has a computer in their room should give serious thought to that and should get that computer out of their child's room.
Do you agree with that?
So they can monitor it.
Professor, your thoughts?
I agree with that completely. Parental supervision, people speaking out, is the best way of ridding society of this kind of obnoxious material.
Is there anything beyond the public outcry and the ostracization, of the manufacturer of this game that is legitimately doable in the scope of a free society, Ms. Dickerson?
Well, we have mentioned boycotts, and that really gets the producer in the pocketbook. I think the reason they made this game was to make a buck. And so if we can stop them from that, so much the better. I'd also like to mention one other thing, and that's that we do have groups out there that are watching out for parents and are communicating with them about what's coming out on the internet and on computer and video games. The National Institute for Media and the Family is about to release a report card tomorrow to the country on the state of computer and video games, and parents who are interested in that can go to mediafamily.com.
Say it one more time.
mediafamily.com.
Representative Dickerson, thank you. Professor, it is always a pleasure. Thank you, Paul Levinson.